Hey, how's it going, guys? My name's Clay Cuzolt, and welcome to another unit spotlight, this time featuring Luneth. And let's get right into it. Luneth is a 5-star base unit going up to 6-star. He's more of a physical damage dealer, really strong in that aspect. Actually, one of the best physical damage dealers we have right now in Global. And for time to come, he is going to be really powerful. Let's get into his stats. HP 4,350, MP 155, Attack 189, Defense 127, Magic 115, and Spirit 117. Going into what he can equip daggers, swords, katana, and great swords, which is what you really want on a physical damage dealer. Those are all the strongest weapons, and essentially the way you want to build them, you want to make sure they can have great swords and katanas, which is awesome. He can have a light shield, a hat, a helm, like, the heavy helm. He can have light armor, cloth, heavy armor, and an accessory as his equipment. And that pretty much just means he has a wide variety of what you can equip on him. But essentially, as a physical damage dealer, you want to put a lot of a lot of attack and things like that. We'll get into his equipment down the line. Moving on to his TM, it's Celestial Gloves, Attack plus 30, Magic plus 30, Defense plus 30, and Spirit plus 30. This is an accessory, guys, and it's an amazing one at that. You want to be slapping this on any damage dealer that's physical, possibly even putting it on your mage users with a Magic plus 30 is actually really, really strong. This is kind of like in the realm of a Gafgarian TM, or Gafgarian for physical damage dealers, of course. Gafgarian's TM gives you attack 30%, 30 up, attack 30 base stat, excuse me, and HP 15%, whereas this one gives you the wide variety of stats. So I think in the end, Celestial Gloves is a more, a TM that can cover more bases, whereas Gafgarian's TM, only goes on attack users. But this is a great TM. I think you should definitely farm it. Moving on to his abilities, we have Auto Refresh, MP Recovery, 5% every turn. So at the end of every turn, he's going to be getting 5% of his MP back, which is always great. You never want to run out of MP on your physical damage dealers. His next ability, Hit All, physical damage to all. So essentially this is his AoE ability. It does do a lot of damage. Not as much damage as his other single target abilities, but it is going to be there to cover you when you do need your AoE. He has the ability Counter. It's a passive ability, 30% chance to counter physical attacks. So if he ever gets bopped in the face by an auto attack, something like that, he's going to go back, 30% chance to just smack the other guy back in the face. Another ability he has is Cut Through, and I love this ability. It looks awesome when he does it. Physical damage with ignore defense 25% to 1. And this ability hits super hard, guys. This is his most hard-hitting ability. It's amazing. Definitely be using this when you need to just knock something out real quick and just enjoy the animation. It's awesome. It's awesome. Going on to other abilities he has. You are pendants, I don't know exactly which way to say that. 100% resist to silence, paralyze, confuse, and petrify, guys. So he has resist to those. He's never going to get confused and knock out your party. He's not going to get petrified from any enemies. He's not going to get silenced or paralyzed. So this is making him even stronger, guys. This is putting more emphasis on how badass he is, which I really love it. And then here comes up something that we need to talk about. His Sword Mastery passive. He gets 20% to his attack, and this is to his base attack, guys. When he has a sword equipped, and this is only for swords, not great swords, not katana, only for the actual specific sword equipment. It's been tested, and it only goes for swords, and essentially you only need to have one sword equipped for this to proc. It won't proc twice if you have 2 swords equipped. So guys, you want to make sure you have a sword on this guy when you're building him, and this will make his attack go up even more. An interesting ability that I've been thinking about with this guy is Advance. Attack 60%. So attack goes up by 60%, and your defense goes down by 30% for 3 turns, and you can only cast it on yourself. Now, you may be thinking, well, the 30% down, it's not really worth it. But with something like Cheer, things stronger than Cheer, you're going to actually get rid of the defense down, like that's going to be countered there, and you're going to have actually some plus defense on that if you use a thing stronger than Cheer. On top of that, your attack is up by 60%, which is amazing. Okay, so I've been thinking about using this. I definitely think you should mess around with it if you get Luneth, as I think it's actually a lot more powerful than maybe when you first look at it. I mean, 60% attack is a lot, guys. It is off your base, remember. It's not off of your, once you equip him with everything, it's not off that. It's off your base, but 60%, still pretty good there. And finally, his huge, awesome ability that everyone loves, Dual Wield. Your unit can equip 2 weapons. You can't put 2 bows or 2 harps on your dude. You can't equip those, but you can equip 2 weapons, so this essentially allows him to get way more attack, to cover a couple of different weapons we're going to need in his builds. And also, he does double any physical damage attack. He's going to do it twice. Okay, so remember his cut through that we talked about was really strong. Once you get into level 100 with dual wield, cut through is going to smack him twice, and it's not going to use double mana or anything like that. It's pretty awesome. Hit all will hit twice. He'll auto attack. So again, I didn't talk about this earlier, but his auto attack, if you just attack with him, is 3. But once he gets dual wield, that's going to be doubled to 6. So it makes it pretty strong. It makes it pretty strong, guys. So dual wield, definitely something you guys should be excited about when you get it. Moving on to his limit break is Strong Heart. Physical damage and minus defense 30% to 1. So not the best as the negative defense debuff. You probably already have that with maybe a full break or another breaking unit. The physical damage isn't that much either. I think I'd rather be using something like Cut Through with his dual wield, making it proc twice, because it's going to ignore the defense by 25%. I think it's going to stack on top of a defense debuff that you put on him. So limit breaks are weird, guys. If they're just doing damage and they're just doing it to 1, they're just doing a debuff to 1, and maybe the debuff isn't that powerful, they're more likely going to be skips. You're not going to be using them, but you might find some places to be able to use this. Moving on to more of a free-to-play build example for him. Remember, guys, this is just a build example. You guys can come up with what you want. We're looking at the Enhancer, which was obtained through a trial boss. The Churi Jiradin, which was a because he has dual wield, we can equip 2 weapons. The Churi Jiradin, we got that from an event back in the day. If you don't have the Churi Jiradin, you can look at getting the Blood Sword and putting them on him. But the Enhancer is going to give you the most attack right now in global, for a sword passive the proc. So you want to look at putting the Enhancer on him. The Tiger Mask, again, you can get that from a quest, or you can get a recipe too. The Black Belt Gi is from a quest. It's a recipe. You can make as many as you want. And then you want to throw double hero rings on him as always. Get that attack up as much as you can. As far as as far as abilities you might want to put on him as a person with no TMs, you're looking at attack 10%. You're looking at, HP 10%, defense, stuff like that, you know what I mean? You want to throw that stuff on and make him more powerful, make him a little more tanky. You always want your physical damage to do as much damage as possible, so the more attack it has on it, the better. Moving on to a TM example build, if you guys have a lot of those TMs, we're going to be looking at using the Moonblade. It's from Delita's TM. This is going to be the highest attack sword you can get through TMs right now in global, and you want a sword on him so you can be proccing his sword mastery, right, guys? So you want the Moonblade, and then to go and complement your Moonblade, we're going to use Sakura Fubuki, which is Miyuki's TM, and the reason we're going to use that is because we're using Blade Mastery, which is Chizuru's TM. That goes hand in hand. You have to wield a katana. It gives your attack 50% off your base attack, which is amazing. You definitely want that stat. For the helm or the head, I would be using the Black Cowl from Hayate. For the body, I'd use Brave Suit from Ramza. For his accessories, you have 2 choices here in my opinion. You can either use the Bracer from Gafgarian, which gives you 15% HP and 30 attack, or you could use his actual own TM, Celestial Gloves, which is the attack 30, and then the on and on and on with the stats we talked about earlier. That's completely up to you. You can mix and match, but the attack 30 is really, really great. And then to finish out his materia, you can put things on him like Lunge Combo from Fencer, giving him 20% attack. The more attack you can stack on this guy, the better. And you might want to throw some killer abilities on him depending on what situation you're going into. If you're fighting dragons, use a dragon killer, plant killer, things like that. Just make him more powerful, boost him up. Now let's talk about his Esper I think you guys should be using, and I think it should be Ifrit. Ifrit gives you the most attack out of all of the Espers. On top of that, he gives you some killer abilities, which are awesome. But you may want to mix and match this. If, let's say, you're fighting a human, you may want to put Diablos on him for the man killer passive. For the physical damage, though, like Luneth, if he's going against a certain thing, giving the 50% to his physical damage, it's going to be awesome. So, you want to look at Diablos or you want to look at Ifrit, see which killer ability work for you and the boss you're fighting or the event that you're fighting. But if you're just looking for a general one, Ifrit's going to give you the most attack and make him more powerful. I just want to say, guys, remember, these guys are coming out at the time when I do release them, so these builds are subject to change. They are subject. These are just example builds. If you would like to discuss more with me, join me on my Twitch channel. You can find it in the link down below. Maybe you come across this video and you're like, hey, man, I don't think this is the right build. Let me talk about it. You can comment down below, or you can join me on my Twitch channel where I stream Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and we always theorycraft on there. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below on how much you like Luneth or how much you don't like Luneth. And then subscribe for future guides like this, and maybe leave me a comment or something, guys. We'll catch you later. See ya. Again, you see that weakness proccing, that's from the man killer ability proccing, and they do a lot of damage. You can see we already have them down pretty far. It does make it tougher when you start hitting these, so he's casting Meteor, but it does make it tougher when you hit these HP thresholds in a row. Like, he may cast Time Stopper